found the driest patch in the pit area there right now, because it is absolutely teeming out on this Pukekohe Park circuit as we're on the formation lap for the central muscle cars, thanks to NZ. As these drivers get ready, Chris Pither is alongside me. And when you've got 850 to 900 horsepower into your right foot, these are not the conditions you'd be getting too excited about.
Definitely not. You know, Pukekohe Park is always a challenge in the rain. Lots of water streams across the track, creates lots of aquaplaning in different areas, especially up over the hill onto the front straight. And as you say, with 850 horsepower, it's going to be a challenge putting that to the ground. Really looking forward to this race qualifying. It was held yesterday for this 28-car field. We had some casualties during that session. We'll get to that soon. And this rain that was supposed to hit here yesterday, it took its time getting in, but that won't deter the Kiwi fans. And you can speak better than I can. They really, really love this event. They certainly do. You can see them up on the hill in front of us. They've got their umbrellas up. They're sticking it out up there, hopefully in for a treat. Look at the car set 19 of Midgley was just giving the gas pedal a bit of a squirt then and almost spun the car in a straight line. That's the resurface section. Pole position for him alongside Angus Fogg and that brand new Ford Mustang, albeit a little scar mark on that front left from yesterday. Greg Honor and Shane Wixon on the next row. Dean Perkins and Grant Dalton. Bruce Anderson, we saw an oil leak from that car yesterday. He's fine, he'll be out in the field today. Ross Graham and Tristan Tecchi out of row number 7. Michael Eden and Greg Holden down towards 19th and 20th position. Steve Neuer and Rick Van Sweat down to Sean Fowler and Greg running out of position number 28. We saw the 777, the Tirana yesterday of Ross Graham. That put a massive hole in the sump of that engine. We saw him pull that car up. He's out for the weekend, and that's a shame because they really look forward to racing at such a big event here in New Zealand. Yeah, definitely. I remember back a few years ago, a little bit younger at the time, coming here was by far the biggest event of the year. Look forward to it for months, and you know you want to come out here, put a good show on, and have a lot of fun. So disappointing for those guys. These will be the kind of days you're glad you're in the commentary box here, where it's nice and warm, lots of rain out there. It's on our window, but you're nice and safe. And look at the conditions out there. Incredible. It's going to be a real challenge for these guys to actually generate any tyre temp. You can see them down the back straight there. They were just trying to generate a bit of wheel slip, create a bit of wheel spin, and try and build some rear tyre temp. But you know, I don't think they would have had much luck in these conditions. No. Got some onboard cameras here will capture all the action around this 2.9 kilometre circuit. Two groups here. Group 1 is the red windscreen banners, therefore the real, in quotes, race cars have their composite panels, and you'll see a lot of NASCAR engines in that group. Then the Group 2 cars are more your standard cars, like this one, for example, out there on the circuit. These guys here run virtually what they had. Yeah, it's great to see the size of the field too. Plenty of cars out there, and good to, if you've got the opportunity, go and actually have a look at them up close. Some of them are amazingly presented. A lot of effort into building and preparing the cars. Look at that water just across this track, and there'll be rivers running down. I wouldn't really call it a main straight. It's more a curve, isn't it? But it's a long downhill section, particularly into turn number 1 that we've remarked all weekend. It's been resurfaced, but the bumps have remained. But it's the back straight that concerns me with the resurfacing down there. It was slippery in dry conditions. It's going to be unbelievable in wet conditions here. Yeah, definitely. As that oil comes out of that fresh tarmac, you know, put a bit of water on that, and it's going to be a challenge. It's basically in the braking zone there, slight kink in the back straight, so there's lateral load on the car as well, and add this rain, and it's going to be carnage. Now, I didn't see Angus Fogg on the front row. Looking out of our commentary box window, grid space 2 is vacant. So the Ford Mustang is not out there right now, a guy that's heavily experienced. We're going racing here for 12 laps around Pukekohe Park as they wheel spin their way from the start. Midgley didn't get the greatest of starts. Looks like Shane Wixon on the outside there, got a reasonable launch. Slots into P2 through turn 1. And everybody just tiptoeing their way. You can see how heavy the rain is hitting. Some guys going 3 wide, but probably 100 k's an hour slower than what we saw yesterday in these conditions. Well done to everybody out there to use their heads in these conditions, because, as you know, being a race car driver, it's easy to get out there and just lose your mind once you pull the visor down. Exactly. First to finish. Finish first you must finish, and these guys are well aware of that. Actually looked like a few people were, I was going to mention, battling with a bit of logging. Here we go. We spoke too soon. And there's contact on the back straight. That's the 66 getting together with the Charger.
by the Chickadee, the tribute car, and that's big damage to car number 2. Sinclair, and that car will be out for the weekend.
Yeah, I was just going to touch on the fact I think a lot of these guys are battling with a bit of fogging at the moment too, and really sort of impeding their vision, and unfortunately that might have been the case there in the Chickadee car.
We saw a shot of the safety car, didn't we, sitting at the back of this field. He knew something we didn't, perhaps. It's going to be called at the end of lap number 1, with Midgley, the leader, slow to get away, but I think that was planned.
You can see quite clearly there, it looks like they have put some sort of anti-fog onto the windscreen right in front of Midgley's driver's seat. It seems to be doing the trick, but that's not a good sight to see.
The 51-year-old is parked right in the middle of the circuit there. Well, the car is anyway, and that's dropping oil and all kinds of fluid onto the track down. It's that kind of day, really, race control, isn't it? What do you do? It's come out of nowhere as in comes the number 8 Tirana now at the end of lap number 1. Tony Galbraith in the Charger. Usually looks immaculate. It's now got a fair bit of mud and probably a damaged left-hand side, but this poor number 2 car of Sinclair, caught out by the conditions, caught out by perhaps visibility as well. Safety car is out here at the end of lap number 1. Right about Wixton, he got the great stuff, but he had all that extra space in front of him with that absent grid space left by Angus Fogg. Take a look at the start here right now. So Winston had a bit more track space to utilise here. Drop back into second. Everybody just, like I said, tiptoeing their way down to turn number 1.
It actually looked like Greg Honor actually got the best start of them all. He just had nowhere to go, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Boxed in there by Wigston. Just tippy-toeing off the line. You can hear it flare into wheel spin as they cross the painted grid boxes on the start-finish straight there.
His foot on the accelerator. We're just cruising down to turn number 1, and Steve Scholes in the Chevy Camaro. Looks like he's heading back out to form up for a start, isn't he? There's nothing you can do in these conditions. Just hold on. He was right in the middle of the pack when the race started. He now finds himself inside the top 10, but the incident happened on the back straight here. We caught the tail end of it, didn't we? We saw the Commodore going into the wall. Even there, he's in heavy enough spray, and there it is happening on the left-hand side. Galbraith and the Commodore spins back out. Scholes lucky to get through this.
He's just positioned himself well there. This shot might give us a better understanding of what exactly happened here. You can see the Commodore to the left of screen. Looked like it just broke into wheel spin and spun. Hard left in front of the Charger, unfortunately.
Just aquaplane, didn't it? On that straight, that's Steve Ross in the Holden, and watch the Sinclair car slams into car 167 of Steve Neuer. That's a tough car, but that's going to have some damage as well.
No doubt about it. That was a pretty heavy hit there.
And parks it right in the middle of the circuit with all the fluid just gushing out the bottom right now. Radiator, oil, everything. A complete dangerous mix in these conditions.
That really highlights what I mentioned at the start of the race there. This circuit is slippery, and when you get that standing water, we see it quite often, cars just aquaplaning, losing traction. There's nothing you could really do. You're just there for the ride once that happens. Once that tyre gets that pocket of water between the track surface and the tyre itself, you're just there for the ride.
Well, this was good news for Ross Graham because he made the car back out there. We were told this morning this car wouldn't take the start, so well done. Maybe regretting getting out in these conditions, though, in that Tirana, but well done to that team for getting this car repaired overnight. So he just took it easy around G.J. Gardner-Holmes' turn. And the incident of the crime on the left-hand side here. Look at the visibility, or lack thereof. Watch the cars dart back out in front of him here. He read the play. Unfortunately, Sinclair didn't. Here it is one more time. So the blue VK Commodore in the background. Pulled out for the pass here. And
there we go.
There it goes. Right on the new surface as well. Tony Galbraith going with him. And then the field just watching and anticipating to see where the 66 would go. Neuer slowing up. And watch the fluoro yellow-white Chickadee car. Bang into the 167 car of Neuer. And that's game, set and match for car number 2.
Matt, I actually have the owner of that car and former driver, well, usual driver, I should say, Mandy Sinclair. You lent that car to your husband. Pretty harsh scenes.
Yeah, no, it's not nice. I can feel my heart pumping, and I'm just pleased that he's okay.
Now, you've actually driven that car yourself at Eastern Creek in Australia. Why'd you lend him the car this weekend? I mean, they always say you shouldn't lend it to your wife. You shouldn't lend it to your husband.
He's actually had it for a few years now, but he wrote his own car off at Pukekohe here about 5 years ago.
These conditions are pretty terrible. The team on the radio as well did warn him about the car up in front.
Yes, his engineer radioed in and said safety car, but just wasn't enough time to come off the picks, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, thanks, Mandy, for having a chat to us. Always tough in these situations.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cam. Down in the pits as the 43 goes back on the tilt tray. It's not too much damage, more to the left rear of the Charger. So I was wondering, that Chickadee car is not the exact car that Bryson Bailey won Bathurst. It's a replica car. And so at the moment, it's going to take a lot of work. Let's go back down to the pits right now. Greg Rust is with Jack Perkins. Race has been declared here. We're not going to get the race laps in, and they've been sent back into the pits right now, and that's a shame. Hopefully, Crispy will see much better conditions for these cars, because they really are exciting to see.
They certainly are, and as you can see with those shots, there's just way too much standing water out there at the moment for those tyres to pump out, and obviously it's unfortunate to see those cars get damaged.
So Midgley from Wixton on Dean Perkins, and Bruce Anderson, the top 5 at that race, which I'd say will get no points at the end there. The NZ Central Muscle Cars heading back into the pits. Voting for the Supercars Gala Fan Choice Awards is now open. It's your chance to have your say on the best presented team, most popular driver, and the best event. Head to supercars.com/fan awards.